Buddy in. Hello, everyone. It's Charlton. Another Vegas video here. So, it's about the other door, the 134 door, which I don't have the confidence level I have in. I have a great deal of confidence, but it's just there's not as much there to see, so you have to assume a lot. And these pictures, they're all taken at different times of day, and some of them are in different, like with different cameras or in different resolutions. All of it meant to, and some of them, in my opinion, are doctored. The leaked photos, I'm almost certain were doctored. The video. The video was doctored, and some of the photos I think are too, but it's hard to know for sure. But it's all meant to completely confuse you. But it doesn't really matter because there's so many people involved that any mistakes that were made, they'll just they'll easily work together to cover it up, And the crime is so heinous, okay, and this goes so high that it's not going to be that easy to kind of to get somebody to peel away, man. They'll be doomed. So, but before I even begin, I'm going to, because this is I'm just going to reiterate that this door was cut, okay, and I'm going to talk. This is the 135 double door. That is cut. There's absolutely no doubt about it. And, somebody just made a big mistake. The plan was to use an explosive, tape to breach the door like they normally would and to make it look like, it was never cut open. But I don't know. They either put the tape too far beneath it or it just didn't work the way they wanted it to. And they never tested it out, I guess, in the first place, to see, what would happen. And it turns out that the cut still looks like a cut. It doesn't look like it was exploded open. It looks like a perfectly cut piece of particle wood. So, and that just is. And it doesn't, and that's cut too. But that one's cut at a slider at an angle, sort of downward, like, this way, as well as an angle this way, so that it exposes some of the particle wood, and it's just done at an angle, because it's done with some kind of saw or something. And it's not because that the FBI or somebody cut the door in half to take it away for evidence. Because, here's the door laying on the ground and there's the cut right there. Okay? Are you telling me they cut it in half and then put it back together for the picture, for the crime scene photo? I mean, it's absurd, and I'm not gonna. That's what this video. There's that same cut, which just happens to be right above the deadbolt system, so that door can be peeled away without the lock being engaged or disengaged, so that somebody can get in and out of there without it being detected on the lock report. Period. Okay, but that's not even what this video is about. But I want that in the beginning of this video, just because that's what I want. And I'm talking about the other door, which, like I said, I'm not quite as sure about. I'm talking about this cut here, because I do believe this door was cut here too. I do, and I've told you before. This strap, which I think somebody said this is for a canine dog or something, whatever. Why it's tied around this handle, and tucked into the doorway, if it's for a canine dog, is beyond me. But there it is, and it's meant to make this cut blend in. And this is an actual photo of the hallway. This one's not, this one's real, in my opinion. But that's a cut. And I've been through, that there's a slider, bigger gap here, whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't want to get too bogged down. But I do believe, and before I even get into some of the, and I don't, the evidence isn't that great, But I do believe that this was always planned. This door was intended to be cut exactly the way it was. This was not intended. And I think there was a problem. Something went wrong. I have a suspicion that it has to do with the damn helicopters, that they created a huge draft that nobody counted on, that closed the adjoining door from 134 to 135, you know, and there was still something in 134 that they needed, whether it was huge cash, you know, a suitcase of cash or drugs or whatever, you know, but they couldn't leave it, and they couldn't just, you know, breach and then, you know, put it, you know, hide it, you know. I mean, even though most of the people in the breach are probably, you know, whatever. Okay, so, but that's why. I think those damn helicopters, they closed those doors, and there was something still in there. And they made a calculation to cut this door and not cut the adjoining doors. And probably for good reason. I don't know. You know, I don't know. That's just a theory. I think it's a pretty good theory. I think I'm in the ballpark. Who's in these rooms? What was going on? I seriously doubt that all this, you know, this is undeniable, dude. This is undeniable. Why someone would go through all that to eliminate a manifesto of a disgruntled gambler? I seriously, highly doubt that. No way. That's why, you know, I'm coming up with the theory that I believe, you know, there was major drug smuggling dealing operation that happened in here on a regular basis, where he came in and he was their accountant too, something like that, as well as he's a pilot. You know, there's probably many pilots involved in this drug running operation, you know, and he came in on a regular basis meaning like quarterly, whatever, I don't know, with tons of bags up to his rooms like he normally would, almost like he was moving in again for an extended stay, and then the bags would go back out, but they would go back out with drugs in them. And who were the suppliers? My idea was it was the Saudis that own 4 floors on the Mandalay Bay, you know, above this location. I don't know exactly which floors. And that they were the supplier, and who knows, you know, who they get it from. You know, and whether it's fentanyl or whatever the hell it's called, you know. I'm not a drug expert. So, you know, but there wasn't, I mean, it's not just, it didn't just come out of thin air, like why the Saudis, why I suspected them. And if you recall, in my previous videos, and I was hot on this topic for a while, and I didn't drop it, and I just started focusing on other elements of this. But about this attorney in Vegas, right? You know, and I just came across him in a very random way, but it's for some reason I ended up searching his name, and his last name ended up having a connection to another huge creator. You know, there was a connection between another huge creator who has a famous grandmother, and the two names sort of linked up. And actually, after I looked into it, I don't have an account with this Ancestry.com. I mean, this is just me. I mean, I go very, very bare bones and just analysis. But I could never actually make a family connection between the last name of this Las Vegas attorney and this other huge creator who had a grandmother, even though when I searched the two names, they came up. And I'm not going to describe why they came up just because I don't want to go there. But at the same time, you know, this Vegas attorney, it seemed to me that who had connections to Thailand. He had a client, you know, who was convicted of child porn, you know, and it was based in Thailand, and there's other things, you know. But it turned out when his uncle, he has a family history. He's from Vegas, you know, and from Nevada. His family is, you know, and his uncle, I believed his uncle was making videos. That's what I thought, and I still believe that. So, but it wasn't just that. It's the fact that the uncle, you know, seemingly visited Saudi Arabia. Okay. You know, and it's right there, you know. I mean, it's not like I'm pulling this out of thin air. It's there, you know. I'm not going to even tell you where it is, you know, but it's there. And this uncle who I thought was making videos about Vegas, and I still do, you know, his other nephew, the brother of that Vegas attorney, he's visited Saudi Arabia too. Now, does that mean that because they visited Saudi Arabia that they're all major huge drug dealers? No. But it's a huge coincidence that I just stumbled across this person this Vegas attorney. I search his name. Somehow there ends up being a connection between him and this other large creator who has a famous grandmother. And he's got an uncle, who I almost had this very strong feeling that he was making videos about Vegas, exploring every possible conspiracy and all that. It's a pretty big coincidence. So, but, when I started talking about these things initially, this person, the uncle, who I believe was making videos about Vegas, his nephew, who's the Vegas attorney, didn't show up in his friends, or none of his family relations showed up in his friends. None of the people with the same last name as him showed up in his friends, but after I started talking about this idea, they all did, mysteriously. And now, what cracks me up about this Vegas creator, it really is, listen, it doesn't make any difference to me. The guy in Thailand making videos, the uncle of the attorney in Vegas, making videos, So, but I'm going to keep going. But the dude making videos about Vegas, it's just hilarious. And I don't know, everybody in the comments, everybody's playing footsie with each other. It's so silly. And there's so many people that are on YouTube, whether they're making videos or whether they're just commenting or whether there's people with many multiple IDs and so forth, posing as different people. But the dude making videos, who I believe is the uncle of the attorney in Vegas, he's changing his videos. It's so obvious that in many of his newer videos, he's not the person in the video. He's the voice over it, but the body in the video and the hands in the video isn't him. And I don't know if that's to disguise who he is, or if that's to disguise where he is, because he's actually not in that location and he's somewhere else. I don't know. But it's all, I don't know. I just, I felt a need to point that out. All right, so to the pictures on 134. And again, these things are not majorly, they're just goofy, man. And, and you can just tell, and I'm talking about this thing here. I believe that's a cut, and that many of the pictures that were taken, and the videos taken were either doctored or taken, from other rooms. I don't know exactly how to avoid showing that, part of what, I don't even have it up here. Shoot. Part of what brought me to this is because of there's a part in this, the final report from the Las Vegas Metro Police Department, with 3 photos in it, and one of the photos that shows the adjoining doorway, there's a beam of sunlight going across it, and it's different than some of the other photos of the adjoining doorway from 134 to 135, and that's what got me moving in this direction. Let me start over. Okay, all right, so let me begin again real quick. Let me just show you this here. This is what got me looking at these photos. And this is not major. I'm just going to go quickly through it. You can make your own conclusions if you want, if you even care, here, this is the beam of light on the doorway. This is the adjoining door that was breached, and this is it lying on the floor. That's what, for some reason, got me looking at this. And for some reason, this photo here, I've got my face in the middle here because I don't want Paddock's on the floor in one of these pictures right here, and I don't want that in this. I don't want this getting strike for any reason. This is in some kind of a different resolution or a different camera. I don't know which, but, because this lamp is like super fat compared to this lamp. If you zoom in, believe me, it's a different camera. And it almost looks like it's two different lamps in 2 different rooms, but it's not. And so that's what that is. And that's what got me looking at these things to begin with. So I'll just go through them one at a time as quickly as I can. I looked at these things, it's not of any significance. But I noticed, in these pictures, this is the video that was leaked to Bild. The German tabloid that's owned by Axel Springer, that also owns Business Insider, which is an insider, which is, has a liberal angle to it is, I think investors initially in that were liberals. Henry Blodgett was the one who was the chief editor of it, the guy who doesn't matter, man. So, but I noticed like they kind of like move the cord out of the way here. So right in the middle, you know, just so you can make sure you can see the room number here. And in this one, you know, it's almost like the numbers wrap around, you know, the thing, you know. They're not even like even, you know, to me. They almost like kind of go downward because they want like this, they want this up so you can see it. And I don't know, it just doesn't seem right to me. But whatever. I'm not making my case on that, believe me. Or any of this. I am making my case on this door and this. Totally. And this didn't happen to hide some person that lost $1.5 million gambling. No way. Basically, this is one of those pictures, you know, and I'm looking at this stuff back here, and some of it's just different camera, so that the resolution's not as good. That's possible, but some of it looks kind of doctored to me. You know, I mean, here you can see, you know, you can see all this stuff on the wall, and this stuff, depending on whether it's daylight, the lights are on, the lights are off, flash is used, flash isn't used. It shows up differently. It comes in like, you know, different. It completely changes the color of it. But nevertheless, there's a photo with where, you know, there's sunlight going across the door in that same, you know, group of 3 pictures where this is just, it just does not seem right to me, and I'm going to find that right now. That's the same photo closer up. Same thing. That photo right there. Okay, so now, you know, actually, no, that's it too. Completely screwing this up. No, yeah, here we go. So, let me put myself down here. I mean, this is what we're looking at, this versus this, okay? And this is with the camera that for some reason makes things wider, you know, the lamp's wider, and even the doorway's wider. But I don't know, man. You know, and now this kind of portion here is blended in. Even this little piece right there is not gone, is sort of blended in, and it's all, you can't see it because of it's either the quality of the picture or because it's doctored, you know. But even the fact that the whole giant bed, you can see it in the doorway, and yes, this is in a resolution at a different angle. It's at a more slightly, you know, to the right of the doorway. This is more head on, so you would see more of the bed naturally. So it could be that it's not, but it just seems very odd to me. You know, I don't know. Something seems not right about it. But it's nothing conclusive, and again, I think this is all just to confuse the shit out of you. Actually, you know, I forgot, in these same pictures, hopefully, in this picture, these bags are here. I don't know if these are the crime scene people's bags or what, but these are not in. Okay, so, you know, I don't know whose bags these are. You know, the bags with the towels. There's brown bags here or something. And then I don't know if that's you know, the detectives, like the crime scene person's stuff or what. But they're not in this photo. And it's not based on the angle. I mean, it's definitely, I mean, it's just, they're just not there, you know. In one photo, they're there. In one photo, they're not there. I assume that these are the detective stuffs, but I don't know because that's such a blatant mistake. But I have no idea. Who the hell knows? You know, it's just totally crazy, all this stuff. But the last thing I wanted to show you before I close this out is 2 photos, basically, with the breech door on the ground. This one right here. Okay, if you could see, you know, and there's no cut in that door. There's also no wire running up to that door in the handle here. Okay, you know, but there's no cut in the door. You know, there's obviously no cut there because this is a different door, in my opinion. And I think what tells me that is this is the adjoining door that's breached. It's laying on the ground, and look at the handles here. And it's a fair distance from, but you can even look at the carpet markings too. I'm not going to go through it that much. I don't really, I'm convinced. I mean, you know, you want to be convinced or you don't, or you already know because you're part of it. So, but this is way far from the wall. But in another photo right here, I mean, that's basically, that's pretty much right up on the wall. I mean, it's not right up there, but it's, you know, it could be at the angle. It's not totally conclusive. But if you follow the carpet line here to there, you know, I mean, that's basically this carpet line, you know, I'm pretty sure. Or it's just two different carpets. This is, in my opinion, this is the room. This is a different room. This is a different floor. This is actually 32-134, you know, and this is somewhere else. Because in my opinion, the door in 32-134 was cut. Like I said, it was a mistake. That was never intended to be cut. 32-135 was intended to be cut. And that is the story there. You know what? I mean, these things, in my opinion, this goes up so high. So high. You know, and was there somebody else in that room that's, you know, that at the super highest levels? I doubt that. In the hotel? Maybe. I don't know, dude. But I'm telling you, this goes up high. And that is the story there, dude. That is the story there. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. And I will see you in the next video. Later, man.